Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Have you ever had this experience? You understand English, you can read English, and you can even write English. But the moment someone says, okay, speak in English, suddenly your brain says, sorry, English is currently unavailable. If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you are not alone. The problem may not be that you don't know English. The problem is simply that you are not getting enough opportunity to use it. And here is the interesting part. Today we have something that can give us most unlimited opportunities to practice artificial intelligence. But I'm not talking about using AI to write your assignments or give you perfect answers. I'm talking about using AI as something much more interesting, your personal English practice partner. In this video, I'm going to show you how AI can actually change the way you practice and improve your English. Think about the traditional way of learning English. You sit in a classroom, learn grammar, study vocabulary, write exercises, take tests, and then go home. But how much time you do actually spend speaking English? Maybe 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes, or from some learners almost zero. Imagine someone wants to learn swimming. They read a book about swimming, watch videos about swimming, but memorize different swimming techniques, but they never get into a water. Can they become a good swimmer? Probably not. English is similar. You can't become a confident English speaker simply by studying English. At some point, you have to actually use it. And this is where AI becomes really interesting. Now let's talk about vocabulary. We all have seen those long vocabulary lists with words like abundant, meticulous, significant, and nevertheless. After memorizing 30 difficult words, we may feel like our English is excellent. But then someone asks us to use simple questions, we use good, very good, and very, very good. The problem isn't always the number of words, we know. The real question is whether we can actually use those words naturally. So instead of asking AI, give me some difficult English words, try asking, give me 5 useful English words for workspace conversation and explain them simply. Give me natural examples and then ask me questions so I can use each words. Now you are learning vocabulary in context, and context make a huge difference. The goal isn't to impress people with difficult words. The goal is to communicate clearly and naturally. Here is another situation that may cause us can relate to. You write an email, read it once, read it twice, and then wonder, is this English correct? You send it anyway, and 5 minutes later you notice a mistake. Too late. This is another area where AI can help. Instead of simply asking, correct my English, give AI some context. For example, you can say, I am writing a professional email to my manager. Check my grammar, tone, and clarity. Keep my original meaning and make it sound professionally but naturally. When you are giving this prompt, notice something important here. You are telling AI what the situation is. English changes depending on the situation. The English you use with your friend is not the same English you use in a job interview. And the English you use job interview is not necessarily the same English you can use an academic presentation. So instead of simply asking AI to make my English better, tell it exactly what kind of English you need. Now let's talk about something that makes many people nervous, which is job interviews. Imagine you have an interview tomorrow and one of the first questions is tell me about yourself. Suddenly you know your entire life story, but you don't know where to start. This is where AI can become your mock interview. You can say, act as a professional interviewer, I am preparing for a job interview. Ask me common interview questions at one time and wait for my answer before asking the next question. At the end, give me feedback on my grammar, vocabulary, clarity, and confidence. Now you can practice whenever you want. But here is the most important part. Don't ask AI to give you the perfect answer and simply memorize it. If you do that, you may sound like a robot during an actual interview. Instead, answer you in your own words. Make mistakes. Pass. Try again. Then use AI to help you improve. The way you're not memorizing English, you're developing your own English. Now I'm going to give you one of my favorite prompts and you can use it almost every day. You can tell AI, I am an English learner. Have a 10 minutes conversation with me about topic you chose. Don't interrupt me to correct every mistake. After the conversation, identify my 3 most important mistakes and explain how I can improve it. After the conversation, identify my three most important mistakes and explain how I can improve. Then give me a better version of my sentence and ask me to try again. Why is this useful? Because it creates a complete learning cycle. You speak, you make mistake, you receive feedback, and then you can try again. And the last part is extremely important because feedback is useful only when you actually use it. But there is also a warning. AI can be incredibly useful, but if you use it wrong way, it can actually make your learning weaker. For example, you write something, AI corrects it, but you copy the corrected version and you are done. But tomorrow you make exactly the same mistake again. Why? Because AI solved the problem, but you didn't learn the solution. So whenever AI corrects you, ask, why was my sentence wrong? Then ask, give me two more examples. And finally, you can ask, give me a similar question so I can try it myself. Now you are not simply receiving answers, you are learning, and that's the difference between using AI and learning with AI. If you want to try this, here a very simple routine. You don't need 3 hours a day, and you don't need expensive courses to get started. Try 20 minutes a day. Spend 5 minutes talking to AI and 5 minutes learning, and use 3 new words. 5 minutes writing about something that happened today, and finally 5 minutes review your mistakes. That's it. And remember, you don't become fluent in 7 days. Don't look at for shortcuts. Use AI to create something that every language learner needs. More practice, more patience. Consistency is more important than intensity. Don't use AI simply to get better answers. Use it to become a better communicator.